Hey, what's up guys? So in this video, let's talk about the latest news with radar detectors, including all the new and updated radar detectors from Uniden, Radenso, Escort, Beltronics, and Whistler. So starting off with Uniden, new firmware, it is still in development for the R1 and the R3. We're currently up to 1.44. Still a lot of testing being done behind the scenes, new features that are being added. No ETA as far as the release for the update. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me. I don't know when it's going to come out and when Uniden is going to be ready for it. They're working on this one for quite a while, it seems, but yeah, that one is still in beta development. Now moving on to Radenso, there's news as far as the Pro M and the Radenso XP. Radenso has actually just lowered the pricing on both detectors. The Radenso Pro M has dropped from $549 to $449, and the Radenso XP has dropped from $399 to $349. So $50 less for the XP and $100 less for the Pro M. And it's nice, if anybody had bought the detector before the price went down 30 days before, Radenso will actually credit you the difference. And so they did the price change in August 1st. So if you bought it 30 days before, you can just let Radenso know, and they'll actually credit you back the difference, which is pretty cool. Now there's another change that's being done. They're changing the shell of the Radenso Pro M like they did with the XP and the SP. So now the new design on the shell for the Pro M matches what we have for the XP and the SP, so they all look much more similar now. Under the hood, exact same detector, but it's just a change of the shell. Now there's also some new firmware that's in development for the detectors as far as, again, beta firmware that's going to be coming out very soon, and it improves the detector in many ways. Back when I tested the Radenso Pro M, or the RCM rather, the remote version, there were a number of things that I didn't really like about it. I like the system overall, but I didn't love it, and a lot of the things that maybe I wasn't a huge fan of with that detector, Radenso is going to be updating the detector to improve those things. Now, the RCM and the Pro M, it's the same thing effectively, remote mount versus windshield mount, and so a lot of those changes are going to be carrying over to the Pro M as well. So we have a price drop, we have a cosmetic change for the shell, and we also have new firmware coming soon that's going to be refining the detector that much more. So cool stuff coming out from Radenso. Now moving on to Escort. The big news with Escort is the fact that they just released a firmware update for the Max 360 that should correct the lockup bug. So finally, it's firmware version 1.8 for the Max 360 or 1.5 depending on which version of the Max 360 you have and what type of Bluetooth chip that you have inside. So far, initial reports are pretty good. People are reporting that they're not getting any sort of lockup issues. However, there is one person who has mentioned that yes, their Max 360 running 1.8 has indeed locked up on them. And so while this firmware update is not looking like it's a total fix, so far it's definitely an improvement over what we had with 1.7. This firmware, it's not available yet for the Max 360C. I'm expecting it to come out soon, but it seems like Escort, they're not giving a set date. I figured they would come out, almost at the same time or maybe one after the other, but no information yet as far as when it's going to come out for the Escort Max 360C. Again, I would assume soon, but it sounds like maybe not. The Redline EX, that's been updated as well. We're at firmware 1.8. Now 1.8 has brought a number of different changes for the Redline EX, including some improvements to the audio clarity and the volume for the speaker, and they've also improved the BSM filtering, or what Escort calls the IVT filter for in-vehicle technology. Now the Escort Redline International has also just been updated to version 1.6. They've made a change to the IVT filter here as well, but what's different is they actually have a toggle to turn the filter on and off. The filter will affect performance, and so if you want, you can turn off the IVT filter and you'll get better performance, but you will get more false alerts. Alternatively, if you want the filtering, you can then turn it on and you'll see a reduction in performance. And so you have the option here with the Redline EX, but it doesn't look like that's an option on the North American one. It's just always on. The Beltronics GT7 has been updated to firmware 1.3, and that brings the same BSM filtering updates, or again, IVT, as Escort calls it, that we just saw recently for the Max and the Max 2. It's now making its way over to the GT7 as well. Next, the Max CI and the Max CI 360. The Max CI has been updated to 1.4 and the Max CI 360 has been updated to 1.7. No changes to performance or anything. Escort is just saying running changes. And with the Max CI 360, they've added some additional data logging capabilities just to help them diagnose any sort of malfunctions. And so just kind of quiet behind the scenes stuff, but nothing as far as features or performance. And then finally, the Whistler CR95 is now available up on Amazon. It's about $175. This is the successor to the CR88. Basically the same detector, except with some improvements to sensitivity on both K-band and Ka-band. Otherwise, the features and the filtering is going to be the same as before. It's just going to give us a little bit better range than before. No word yet on availability for the CR97, which is going to be the one with GPS, so kind of the successor to the CR93. But the 95 is already available. So I guess that's the latest news from Whistler. So yeah, there we go. That's the news as far as Uniden, Radenso, Escort, Beltronics, and Whistler. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this quick update. And yeah, that's it for now. Happy driving, and I'll see you in the next one.